everybody. This is another episode of the Nutrition Club provided by Community Health Programs. And my name is Hannah Patterson. Welcome to my kitchen. So today we're going to be doing a 3-bean turkey chili. So the 3-bean means that I'm going to use 3 different types of beans: pinto, kidney, and black beans. So this is going to be a super nutritious and yummy recipe. I hope you guys are really going to like it. So I have attached to the bottom of this page, I have attached a recipe that you can use for the stovetop, or you can even do the crock pot version of it. So you can do either or, but today I'm going to show you the stovetop version just because it's got more steps than the crock pot does. So I hope you enjoy. I've got all my vegetables nice and rinsed now. I'm going to pull out my kale, this red onion, green bell pepper, cilantro, and my shallot. Okay, I'm gonna chop all these up. Just watch the magic. All right, I've got everything chopped up, kale into nice big pieces. Everything all minced that needs to be minced. My cilantro, just remove from the leaves. I like a full leaf, but you can chop that up if you want. Now I'm going to put this all to the side. Okay, this bowl. And then I'm going to put these on the side. I've got my jalapeno pepper to go. Typically, I recommend using gloves, but I don't have gloves on me right now, so I'm going to use sandwich bags. So the important thing with jalapenos is when working with them to wear a protective layer, because it has what's called capsaicin in it, which is what makes a pepper really hot. And capsaicin is also actually supposed to be very good for diabetes, in that, remove those pores, in that it actually helps promote insulin production, and by doing that, it's also helping to lower the amount of glucose, high glucose levels. Let's see, there we go. I thought this was a little one, but yeah, usually you find it in those seeds. So I'm not going to use all of it. I'm actually going to use half of it, half of those seeds, because that's where all the capsaicin really is. But it's really good for insulin production. And you can also find capsaicin in other peppers, like even bell peppers. Not as much as a jalapeno. There's a lot of capsaicin in cayenne spice. So that is pretty cool. So I'm just gonna chop these guys up. There we go. And I'm gonna keep some of those seeds and put some of those seeds in there, so we get a bit of a kick to our chili. Be nice and spicy. All right. So, heating up my pan, my olive oil. Make sure keep it nice and coated. Let it warm up. All right. Now that I'm nice and warm, I'm going to add my onions and peppers. Nice sizzle. That's when you know it's nice and warm. Good sizzle. Second you put something in the pan. Alright, get those a mix, so I'm going to let these saute for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to add something else. Let's see. Okay. Now these are nice and sauteed. You can tell the onions are a little translucent and the peppers look a little softer. So at this do is add my shallot and jalapeno. Sometimes you can wait to add the jalapeno, that way it's a bit hotter, but I'm gonna add my jalapeno right now. And then also, just to get it all nice and aromatic, I'm gonna add my spices too. Give this a good mix and then I'll add my spices. So my spices are paprika, oregano, chili powder, and cumin. Cumin's got more of that capsaicin I was talking about, which is pretty good. Now this is going to taste very different from the crock pot recipe because we're sauteing it and everything, whereas we wouldn't be adding any kind of fat, which is technically healthier with the crock pot, but this is actually a bit more flavorful. Add all of that. This really makes for a good base to any kind of soup. This technique right here, doing my vegetables and spices first, sauteing them before I put all the liquids in. Now it smells so good. It's got a nice kick to it. And now that it's been about a minute or two, I don't want it to get too crazy, too cooked without me. So I'm going to add my ground turkey. You can see that right there. A nice organic ground turkey. So I'm just going to add that and just let it brown a little bit. Mix it around. And I'm going to take the paper out of it. That's, yeah, wow. Don't want to eat that. I did not see that at the bottom there. So I'm going to break her up, get her mixed, wait for her to be nice and browned up. Alright, now that she's all sorts of nice and browned up, and all of that great flavor mixed around in there, if only you could smell this, it smells so good. But this is what makes a great chili, is starting it off this way. This is where all the flavor comes out. This is what makes it nice and flavorful. So what I'm going to add now are stewed tomatoes. I personally like stewed tomatoes. You can do diced tomatoes, whatever you want. Make it your own, but I like big chunk tomato. And then, pardon my reach, my camera's in the way. Alright, and then I've got some tomato paste here too. So I'm going to add all of that. And then also my beans. Now, ahead of time, I made sure to rinse my beans really well. And I let them sit and dry and everything too. So now I'm going to add those too. Mix everything up. And then I'm also going to add my chicken stock. Now I like to do stock instead of broth because the stock comes from the vegetables and the bones, whereas the broth comes from the actual chicken meat. So this has less fat content in it. And then I'm going to let that come to a simmer. I'll probably let it simmer for a good 45 minutes. So it's been simmering for about 45 minutes now. And I make sure to consistently stir it every now and then. Just make sure that the bottom doesn't burn or anything. But you can see that mine has reduced quite a bit. I let it reduce a lot because I put lots of liquid in there. But you can have it as thick as you want, as thin as you want. That's the thing about chili, is that everybody makes it their own. Now what I'm going to do next is add some kale here. Right in here, all that chopped kale, put it right in here. And I'm going to let this go for like another 15 minutes. Mix that in. So the great thing about kale is that it has both vitamin A and C. Now I know you're thinking vitamin C, you're thinking no, that's just like in oranges or whatever, but it is actually in kale too. It's really great for the immune system, for boosting the immune system. And then vitamin A is really great for healthy skin and good for your vision and your bones. It actually is known for helping with acne. A lot of your acne treatment stuff has vitamin A on it and everything. So I'm going to let that go for about 15 minutes, just enough to have the kale wilted. You don't want to overdo it because then you're going to cook out all those nutrients you really want. So just let it simmer for a little bit more. Alright, so I'm all done. My chili is good to go. Have all that kale cooked well enough, just about 15 minutes. And I'm going to plate it up in my bowl. It's good to serve hot. And I do about 2 cups per person. And it's actually, because of the beans, it is packed full of insoluble and soluble fiber. So it's really great for those of you that have diabetes because it can help control your glucose levels. And then also, beans tend to have what's called a B vitamin. It's called folate. So folate helps produce red blood cells, which essentially means that it's going to help with your inflammation. And then also, the folate helps with the development of babies within the first month of pregnancy, and it helps with the development of their nervous system, so their spine and their brain as well. And then also, I'm going to top off this soup with some avocado. So I'm using avocado instead of sour cream like some people do because avocado has monounsaturated fats. So it's a much healthier fat choice, but you still get that kind of fat flavor and taste. And then I am going to top off with some cheddar cheese and let that melt on top. And then also, if you want, I like to do a little bit of cilantro as well. And then you're good to go. And if you're curious on how to cut open an avocado, stay tuned for a small clip for tricks on how to open up an avocado. Bye now.